What's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. Happy 10-Bip Live night. We are here. We are back. We are live. We are alive. Hello, hello, hello. Hope you're hanging in there. Hope you've had a great week. I'm Perry. I'm the host of This My Bourbon Podcast. You may also know me as My Bourbon Gamer here on Twitch, if that is how you are watching. And if not, you're watching on YouTube. And if you're doing that, you might be hitting that like button. You might be hitting the subscribe as well. But if you are watching on Twitch, hit the follow button. Pretty please. Pretty please. Would be very much appreciated. I'll tell you why, because we're still on the road to affiliate on Twitch. We got 2 people watching on Twitch, actually. That's interesting. If you're watching on Twitch, say hey. Because most people are pretty quiet on the Twitch stream. And we're all very quiet on the YouTube stream as well tonight. But either way, thank you all for being here. If nothing else, gonna have a good stream. Hanging out tonight. I don't quite know where everybody is, but that is okay. We're still gonna plug along, chug along, enjoy ourselves just as we always do. Catching y'all up on what's been going on. Had a great episode come out this week where Eric and I reviewed the newest blend from our buddy Dixon Deadman in the Icon series from the 2XO line of products, 2XO brand. So go and check that out if you haven't already. Listen to it, watch it here on YouTube. Sugar Kitty's here on the YouTube. Meow hashtag multitasking. What's going on YouTube tonight? What's everybody got going on? Who's live? I don't even know. Bodie's World? I don't know who Bodie's World is. Naked and Famous Denim? I don't know who that channel is either. I don't even know if they're whiskey related. They don't look like they are. Bodie's World doesn't a good dollop of community fun? They kind of look like they're in Japan. Yeah, I don't know where everybody is, but that's fine. Maybe they're watching basketball. Aquavite is on about now. Bourbon Bounty not on this week. All good. All good. Either way, though. Let's pour us something to drink. I'm thirsty. Haven't had anything. It's been a long week. Gotten some good workouts in this week. I'm happy with it. I'll be very honest. Ooh. This is what I want to pour. Ra the Dopest on Twitch. What's up, homie? Oh, good. I finally made it live. Good to see you, my friend. First time chatter on Twitch. This is a New Riff single barrel. Not a pick either. Just a New Riff single barrel. I'm assuming this is 4 years old. Even though it tastes a little bit older. It's a little bit minty. 115.4 proof. But I'm very excited for what we're going to be reviewing tonight as well. Because it is brand new from Total Wine. Not seen any reviews or chatter about it just yet. I had not even seen anybody post about it other than, well, really Total Wine themselves in an email recently. And I was like, well, I guess I'll give it a shot. Pretty affordable as well. So we'll get into that a little bit later after we talk about all the bourbon news of the week. But I don't think I have anything else to catch y'all up on at the moment. Happy Mother's Day week. Hope you got your mothers. For those of us in the U.S., of course, we got your mothers something nice, or that you're going to spend time with them. And for those of you who have mother-adjacent figures, or your mothers are no longer with you, I hope that you have a nice, relaxing time. All that to be said, though, cheers to another week. It's gotten a little bit more citrusy since it's been opened up over the past... When did I get this? Last Friday? Did I buy it on Friday? I think I did. Either way, though. Either way. Cheers, gang. Yeah, it's a little more herbal than I'm used to with Knob Creek single barrels. I'll be honest. But I am not sure, because I know that they use a few different cooperages, a few different barrel companies. This, just specifically having tasted from their different, different products out of different barrels, and having been told what they are, I don't think it's ISC, Independent Stave. I think it's one of the other ones that they pull from. And I remember that Independent Stave, those barrels tend to not be typically very high proof either. Those are some of their lower proof ones. If I'm remembering correctly, I could be wrong. Crazy thing for me to pull out of nowhere. I don't know why I remember that, but either way, just want to say thank you again for being here. As always. And if you want to support the show while we are live, you can do so by heading to the pinned comment at the top of your chat and doing what we call snuffy chats here at Tim Bip Live. It is in support of every show. Of course, it is our method of super chatting or just tipping, however you want to describe it. It's named after our main man, the patron saint of Tim Bip Live, Mr. Snuffleupagus. I believe, you believe, we all believe. He is real. Of course, our mascot, our friend. He is lovely. And always in our hearts. Let's start talking about what's been going on this week. And this just happened today. Hold on, let me turn my music down just a little bit. I feel like it's a hair loud. There we go. This literally happened today. Oh, that's right. That's raw. I forgot that's why you followed. I was gifted a sub at Majority Report a while back, so I followed. I don't know much about liquors or tasting them and noticing quality differences, but very cool you do. Thank you very much. No, I'm happy you're here, and fellow Majority Report watcher. I hope this is a good journey for you as well. Start with I don't know how much you drink either, but start small if you like and work your way up. I would even say start as small as something like Jim Beam, and keep going up. I just end up drunk at the end of the night. That's one way to go about it. That does also happen from time to time, I will say. Sometimes it even happens at baseball games, and that can happen to you at Major League Baseball now. Thanks to Traveler Whiskey, the official new whiskey of Major League Baseball. This is interesting. Little old-fashioned, what's going on? Good to see you on the YouTube chat. Hope you're well. This is super interesting. Traveler Whiskey, of course, is the Chris Stapleton's collaboration with Buffalo Trace. And it's his whiskey, blend number 40, as it were. And this is now the official whiskey, not bourbon, whiskey of Major League Baseball. I'm so kind of confused by this. Why they didn't go with a bourbon, I don't know, but the fact that it is a whiskey is not too... I mean, being a Kentuckian, of course, the fact that it's a whiskey from another Kentuckian, I mean, that in and of itself it's very cool. I'm not going to be too upset about that. I just wish Traveler were a better product overall. Do I still like it? Yes. I just want it to be better. It's been a long time since I've touched my bottle. I will say that much. This multi-year agreement marks the first time MLB has designated an official whiskey, positioning Traveler as the league's exclusive whiskey partner. Traveler blended whiskey, a collaboration between Buffalo Trace master distiller Harlan Wheatley and Grammy-winning artist Chris Stapleton, has been named the official whiskey of Major League Baseball. My friend's father would drink Wild Turkey and lick people at the cookouts because he couldn't wash it off, so I can do without that one. That's funny because Turkey 101 is one of my go-tos, Raw. Genuinely, Turkey 101 is one of my favorites. So if you can overcome that trauma, I recommend Wild Turkey 101. I also recommend a lot of Wild Turkey products, but I can understand if you're not, too keen to jump back into that pool. Celebrating craftsmanship and tradition, the partnership highlights the shared values of whiskey making and baseball, emphasizing craftsmanship, perseverance, and passion. Whenever we're on the road and it happens to line up, we go to baseball games, said Chris. It's become a bit of a tradition over the years. Needless to say, I'm thrilled Traveler Whiskey is going to be the official whiskey of MLB. Turkey fan here too. See? There's a lot of Turkey fans out there. We just did an episode of the podcast too. Also, Jason, good to see you. Hope you're well. Arsenic Culture. We just did an episode reviewing Raw, their newest expression of Turkey 101, their 8-year, which should be a national product, should all things go according to plan. We're keeping our fingers crossed. Good to see you too. Marketing push to include broadcast, digital, and live activations. The agreement includes a 360-degree marketing strategy that spans game broadcasts, social media content such as MLB Power Rankings, and retail promotions. Traveler Whiskey will also host on-site fan activations during MLB All-Star Week 2025 in Atlanta and the MLB Speedway Classic at Bristol Motor Speedway. Custom sweepstakes and giveaways will offer fans age 21 and over, blah, blah, blah. And there's a lot of corporate speak about how they're so excited to be partnered together, how it was made. We did this review when it came out last year. $40 a bottle. It's made in, just massive amounts. You can find it everywhere. One of the coolest promotions that they did with Traveler was when it first came out. Chris Stapleton was going basically all around Lexington to different liquor barns and Total Wines and signing bottles. I guess he was kind of doing it all over the country. And some fans wound up, bumping into him and getting pictures and bottles from him. And it was very cool. But anyway, being a baseball fan myself, I like this. I think it's very cool. But again, I just wish that Traveler were a little bit better. So, moving on to another press release from today. So breaking-ish news, even though it's not really that breaking. Coming from Heaven Hill this time. And I was expecting when this news broke that they were going to package it with the 7-year shelf stable release. I don't even know if that's the right way to phrase that, but I think you all understand what I mean. Edition of Old Fitz Bottled and Bond. And instead, it's just the newest release of the Decanter series, which this time is a 2016 distilled 9-year-old Bottled and Bond product. Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, their wheated bourbon in these fancy decanters. Let me check real quick because I don't remember seeing what the price was on this. Oh, this actually dropped. The news dropped yesterday. I apologize. $129.99. Okay. Well, it is what it is. These have gone up in price. We knew it was happening, of course, but I think we all just wanted them to stay at the $10 per year price point, and it was almost inevitable that it was going to go up in price at some point, one way or another. It just sucks that this is how it wound up. Speaking of Heaven Hill, no, I'll get to that in a second. We received word today of the future of one Bernie Lubbers, the ambassador, not just of Heaven Hill and their whiskey abroad, but who is widely known as the Whiskey Professor, and a massive, massive advocate. Of course, this is appropriate for just having talked about a Bottled and Bond product, but Bernie is very well known for being a Bottled and Bond expert. He is, as he puts it, not stepping away, but stepping aside from his role of being a whiskey ambassador or being a brand ambassador, and is instead being named a whiskey ambassador emeritus. So he will be moving into a role that will allow him a little bit more time to relax, it appears. This has started already. It went into effect May 1st. But of course, as he said, he is not going anywhere. He is still staying with Heaven Hill, and is still advocating for whiskey education, and everything wonderful that whiskey does, not just for Kentucky, but for this industry abroad. But just an incredible guy, and friend of the show. Wish him all the best. It's interesting when things like this happen, because it's definitely not a like goodbye by any means. He's just moving into a different capacity with his role. So that's Bernie for you right now. Woodinville has just put out their new bourbon, which we got another product finished in tequila barrels. I don't understand this trend. I really don't. Like, I guess this is us moving through the motions of, like, we've run out of other products, other second-use barrels or even first-use barrels to finish American whiskey in. And here we are with Woodinville putting out what is now another tequila finished bourbon. I don't know. It's just, it's not always been my thing. There have been a couple of times where it's worked. Very few times where it's worked exceptionally well. At 100 proof too. I'm hoping they're not trying to mask anything one way or another. But that being said, though, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know what to make of this one. I don't know what to make of this one. I'll be honest. I'll be very honest with you. I wish that I could. Oh. No, can I just. This bottle is crazy. This is the new World Whiskey Society Members Reserve bourbon finished in black currant brandy casks. 104 proof, only 364 bottles, 78% corn, 13% rye, 9% malted barley. It's beautiful. It's just it's crazy. I'd be scared to like touch this. I'll be very honest with you. $150 with the subscription. Not a terrible price, but oh wait, is it just $150? Like that's the quarterly subscription and you just get this bottle? I mean, that's not too bad. But there is the like lack of transparency on where this comes from. Of course. I'm not saying that they have to, that everybody who sources product has to reveal where their sourced product comes from, but it would be nice if they were, with it being a little bit more expensive, if they did say, where this bottle was acquired from. Yeah, free to join while society subscription is available for $150 a quarter. So $600 a year. I mean, you better get more than one bottle a quarter for it. I mean, unless it's just like the most excellent bottles like this. I don't know. I'm of two minds about it. Again, it looks really cool. It's got this really gothic, inspired quality to it that definitely reminds me of something like Notre Dame. And I'm not just pulling from the gargoyles here. The aesthetic of what looks to be like the belfry that you would find in the interior of a cathedral as well looks really interesting. I mean, it makes for a very unique bottle shape, but this is one of those things where I wish I could try it before I bought it, for sure. We got the newest release now of Heaven Hill's Grain to Glass Bourbon. 52% corn, 35% rye, and 13% malted barley. 7 years old, it looks like. Ooh. Sorry, excuse me. Continuing or 6 years, excuse me. I'm just going off of the 2018 to 2025. Still continuing this, what was established with last year's grain to glass releases. Everything was aged locally and was also aged, of course, by Kentucky farmers. Just a very cool product that they've put out, that they've gone through. The bourbon itself last year was not my favorite. I very much liked the cask strength wheated bourbon and the rye. The rye especially. Was wheated bourbon cask strength? I don't think it was. I'm going to take that. It was still a higher proof wheated bourbon. But either way, I look forward to trying this. For sure. For sure. And then we come to the biggest news of the week that broke whiskey internet, bourbon internet, bourbon tube, bourbon gram, bourbon Twitter, bourbon heads. That there is finally going to be a new addition to the antique collection from Buffalo Trace in the form of a bottled and bond product under the E.H. Taylor label. It's the first time since 2006 that a new edition has come. When Thomas H. Handy was introduced. 19 years. And now we got E.H. Taylor. There's no word on how old it's going to be. Roughly, Taylor, in its small batch form, is around what we expect to be about 6 or 7 years old. We don't know for sure, but that's kind of what the estimate is. And we don't really know what's going to happen here other than the fact that it's going to be bottled and bond, as I said prior. I think it would be a shame for it to not be a double-digit product in terms of age. I think it would have to be at least 10 years old for it to make any kind of sense to sit in this lineup. Even though we do have products like Thomas H. Handy, which get down to like 6 years old in their blend. But that the reason that I say this is because we've already got what is ostensibly a younger E.H. Taylor product that is regularly available and wouldn't make sense to go in one of these nicer bottles at a premium price. For the longest time, of course, it was $100. It's gotten up to what, 110, 120? I don't even remember what the MSRP is now. We just know that it's been raised. That's the point. So, all of that being said, though, I have reserved emotions about this addition to the lineup because Sean Holgrave, what's going on?
Sup, dudes?
Good to see you, brother. Hope you are doing fantastic. I want this to be just an out of this world amazing bottled and bond. I mean, how could you not? Like, I am still a firm believer that bottled and bond products have value and deserve recognition in this day and age, despite the fact that they have a 130-year history in bourbon, right? In whiskey, in American whiskey. It doesn't necessarily guarantee quality, but at the very least, it does, have a storied history. All of that being said, though, Hey, what's going on, Chris? All the way down under. It was supposed to rain today, and it never did rain here. Amazing out of this world product. You do remember this is BT, right? I know. And depending on who you are, that phrasing could be interpreted so many different ways, right? I mean, it could be interpreted as Buffalo Trace never makes good products, or they only make good products. I don't have all the faith in the world that they will make a great product from this. It very well could fall on its face. And I'm leaning towards that being what happens. I would not be surprised. I mean, it's their low rye mash bill. It's going to be bottled and bond, so it's going to be 100 proof. I just am hoping for the best, I will say. I think, truth be told, what they missed in introducing a new product here was introducing a new product with their high rye mash bill instead of yet another product with their low rye mash bill. Because we've already got Stag and Eagle Rare, which both utilize their low rye mash bill, despite being, from time to time, some pretty heavy hitters. I mean, and I say that knowing full well that George T. Stagg gets into, people's top 10 lists, mine included, fairly often. But this would have been a great opportunity for an Elmer T. Lee BTAC. I think, the Blanton's BTAC is a bit of a meme at this point. I'm not saying it wouldn't have been a great product to be introduced, but, Blanton's has all the pomp and circumstance of the bottle shape and the horse stopper and this, that, and the other. So does it make as much sense for that to be what they put in this lineup? I don't know. I just think that it's more of what we already have by going with yet another another low rye mash bill product in the antique collection. We'll see. Again, it's May. These come out in September, or October. It could be great. It really could be. I have an entirely different picture in my mind when you use the phrase horse stopper. Anyway, it's not going to be 4 years old. Like, it's not going to be a 4-year-old bourbon. I think we can all pretty much agree that that's going to be the case. For my money, the way that I think it would be the most like appropriate to be done is it would have to be at least 10 years old. It would have to be at least 10 years old. Real quickly too, before we wrap up talking about this, the TTB label for the antique collection Taylor did make it to the it did make it to the TTB. It does look like it's been approved at the very least. So again, we do have confirmation that it's going to be bottled in bond. No age statement. There's a whole wall of text on the back, basically just detailing Taylor's accomplishments and how the Bottled and Bond Act is and was important to bourbon and whiskey and the industry as a whole. Being the first release, only 20% will end up open to drink. Oh, for sure. But I'll be honest with you. If I got a bottle of it, it would be open. That's not even a question. Oh, Lord, I do apologize for that joke. Be with the pygmies down there in New Guinea. And no worries, I can just show myself out here. Yeah. See, Gene Nassif making the same point. Still no mash bill 2. How do you look at this lineup and go, yeah, let's put another mash bill 1 in there? You know what we need? More Weller. Not to say the Buffalo Trace hasn't been doing that over the past few years, but you see my point. I don't know. I just keep getting confused. We seemingly already have approval for the new Barrel Bourbon New Year label. This is crazy. For 2026, 110.3 proof. A whole bunch of stuff. Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, Wyoming, Maryland, New York, and Ohio. Yeah, Chris, I actually just talked about it a little bit ago. I mean, he's still going to be there, but I think he's tired. I mean, I would be too with the amount of work that he's done at Heaven Hill. And I mean, he said as much as well that he's not stepping away. He's just kind of stepping back, which again, I think is completely fair. He wants to spend more time with the band? Really? Timbip Live exclusive. Or maybe he said that otherwise, or other way, I don't know. Anyway, we got a derived mash bill of 74% corn, 21% rye, 4% malted barley, and 1% wheat. I do not know. I just think that would be funny. That would be really funny if he's just, taking his music really seriously all of a sudden. Who's to say? I mean, it could be. It could be. And then these last two labels, I don't know what to make of these either. Like, I don't know. There's two of the same, basically. And And they seem incomplete. Oh, wait. I didn't notice that there was more to be clicked on. I can't tell if these are going to be directly for Pfeiffer Pavitt or if they're going to be Bardstown Bourbon Company releases. It kind of looks like it's going to be for Pfeiffer Pavitt. But anyway, these are Pfeiffer Pavitt wine finished bourbons. One is an 11-year straight bourbon finished in Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignon barrels, and the other is a 12-year Tennessee straight bourbon finished in Cabernet Valley Cabernet Sauvignon barrels as well. One of them, this one was what, 105 proof? 107, sorry, and the second one is 115. More Weller, I got a fever, and there's only one cure. More Calpone. When we were chatting the other month, he advised he was out to come down under. That'd be awesome. Our first foray into the whiskey world left quite the mark, but we weren't finished. This 10-year Tennessee straight bourbon whiskey was finished for 24 months in Pfeiffer Pavitt Cabernet Sauvignon barrels. Robust Cabernet dark fruit notes with a caramelized nut, fig, and stone fruit body, and an amazing depth and richness of a dark chocolate and fruit syrup finish. Sip, savor, and be present. I loved the Bardstown Bourbon Company Pfeiffer Pavitt collabs. Mark Ebenecker, what's going on? Oops. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Cheers to you, too. Been a minute. But I hope things are great. But I loved the collaboration that they did previously, and I'm very excited for what these could turn into as well. I think truly it was the Pfeiffer Pavitt wines that that made the final product so good. So we'll see. I hope it's got Kentucky distribution. And if not, maybe we could order it online. We'll find out. But regardless, that's all the news I got this week, because bit lighter, but I definitely wanted to I wanted to spend some time with the E.H. Taylor stuff. Hello to y'all. Haven't been on the line so early lately. Just saying hello. Dude, it's just good to see you. It's very good to see you. Uh-oh. My wife was texting me with an odd question. Didn't make any sense. All right. Let's get into this review, I suppose. So like I said at the top of the stream, I have not really seen anybody do any reviews on this yet, or even talk about or post about these. So I guess they've kind of fallen under everybody's radar. But at the same time, Total Wine sent out emails about them. They're readily available. I think that they're interesting, and they're not just like their typical run-of-the-mill sourced products that they do. What really excited me about them is that they're blending two distinct mash bills, right? So there is a rye that goes along with these two products, but I just wanted to focus on the bourbons tonight. There is a 6-year 90 proof bourbon for $50. And then there is a 6-year cask strength bourbon for $55. This one in particular is 123.4. I don't think that it's going to stay at that proof. I'm sure that there are going to be other ones that bounce around in proof, but I did see like in the Total Wine email that it was at least 120. So I was fairly excited about that. But what's really, really exciting about this, what's really, really exciting to me at least about this, where is this? There's a bit of a sticker from the label that stuck on the neck. Again, is this blending of 2 mash bills. And the first mash bill has, as they put it, a classic 12% rye. And the second has a bold 39% high rye. 12% rye and a 39% high rye. I am terrible at math. I mean, of course, it's not exactly split down the middle, but if it were, it'd be about 25% rye. Who's to say, though? Could be completely wrong. So we're going to try both of these side by side. That was an odd cork pop. And this is, I mean, not sponsored or anything. I bought these. I was curious. This is also not an ad for Total Wine. I don't care. Y'all shop where you want. Very likely these could be bad. Who's to say, man? You know? I can't know one way or another. Color's kind of a light amber. Nose is not out of this world. It is 90 proof. It is 90 proof. I have to remind myself. I have to remind myself is how that sentence was going. Incredible stuff. It's a little... You should clip and post your talk about the $150 bottle with the gargoyle on it so they send it to you to try. I actually might. That's not a terrible idea, Raw. Lots of stuff for me to clip and post from tonight's stream for sure. Yeah, it's a little alcohol forward. The grains are kind of noticeable, but it's got a little bit of oakiness that is kind of coming through that I'm not terribly upset with. Either way. Cheers, folks. I can't tell if it needs more time to open or if it just really is that flat and brash. It's really going up into my gums. Weird. Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. This is not great. I think that the age is really what's hurting it. And it definitely feels like the 12% rye oakiness. Yes, I've had Jim Beam, and it's like a wood smell stuck in my sinuses. Is that most bourbons? Not necessarily. Not all bourbons are like that. However, oak is a common flavor note with bourbon because I'm gonna pull your comment back up here too, Raw. But oak is the aging component for bourbon legally. It has to be aged in a new charred oak. I think that they changed the legal wording to barrel. It used to be called, in the legal terminology, vessel. But I think they changed it to where it technically has to be a barrel now. But the barrel has to be made from a newly charred oak. It doesn't necessarily have to be American oak. It can be French. It can be Brazilian. There's all these different places that it could come from. But as long as it's freshly constructed, freshly made, and freshly charred for the first time. So it can't be like an old Scotch barrel. It can't be an old wine barrel with new fill, new make, as we call it, fresh product that's just come off of a still and put into the barrel. The barrel has to be virgin. But all of the color that you see on bourbon comes from it being aged in the barrel. Or it's supposed to be, at least. I hope that makes sense. 90 proofer. It's fine. It's not my favorite. Let's see if the cask strength has anything better to offer. Maybe an older used barrel would be less of that. What do you mean specifically? I'm curious where your line of thinking is here. Are you talking about like a second use barrel? Because the short if it's like a second use barrel, then yes, you would get less of an oak profile on it. A good example of that would be something like Scotch. Most Scotch that you find on shelves actually is aged. Less of that sticking in the sinus. Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you're saying now. But once you move into other types of whiskeys, right? That also presents different hurdles that you might have to overcome, right? Like, the flavor profile of bourbon is not necessarily the same flavor profile that you would find on rye whiskey or that you would find on Scotch whiskey or Irish whiskey or single malts. They all vary very widely, and you would really have to spend some time finding what you like. And not every bourbon is going to have a very large oak note either. So that's one of the most fun things about it. You try different bourbons, you try different ryes, try different whiskeys, and find the ones you like the most. Sometimes they're cheap, sometimes they're expensive, sometimes you get in trouble for buying multiple bottles and buying bottles you don't need, and then you just, you wind up with a collection. That's why I have this office. I mean, I also have this office because I work down here. But, the cask strength is quite a bit darker. There's more cherry, more fruit on the nose. And maybe with a fruit tone? Maybe. Some single malts have fruitier notes, but I'll tell you what. If you want a fruitier bourbon, try Four Roses. That's my first recommendation. Other YouTube chatters, help me out because I can't think of any. I can't think of fruitier bourbons. Help our Twitch friend out, Raw the dopest. Also, what's up, Bike and Bourbon? Good to see you. Driftless Glen, good one. Definitely willing to report back. I hope you enjoy Four Roses. It is across the board one of my favorite bourbons. Somebody's lurking in the Twitch chat. Somebody's lurking on Twitch and they're not talking. Driftless Glen's not fruity to you? Okay. Stag Jr. might be a bit much at this point for raw. Aged Barton, though, yeah. Something like 1792, I could see. There is a salted caramel note on this bourbon nose that I am all about. I've got something I'm going to put right up against this as well in a moment. But before I do that, I'm going to take a sip. I wouldn't say all driftless, but I sure get fruit notes on some. Buffalo Trace products are fruity to me and pretty sweet. I'm not a fan of fruity whiskeys. That's fair. There's more people lurking in the Twitch chat. I see you lurking. Where are you? I've got that followers only mode on. So if there's somebody who's watching. Makers is fruity, cherry heavy. Makers is pretty fruity. I think you're right. If not Stag, Buffalo Trace, or Eagle Rare, but specifically the picks that tend to go either grape or cherry. Yeah, I think that's fair. That's completely fair. Dude, absolutely. That's what we are here for. We are a very, very chill community on WhiskeyTube. WhiskeyTube, Whiskey Twitch. Which? Sugar Kitty said, "Welcome to WhiskeyTube." But also, thank you for being on the Twitch channel too, because I do appreciate any interaction that we get over there. I take back that statement about not liking fruity. I like Maker's single barrels. They are fruity. That is completely fair. I do love Maker's private selects. For sure. This Rambler cast strength is so weird. It almost goes more malty than anything. Honestly. I'm very perplexed by it. I really think that whatever grains there are in here really, really just you know what's crazy about this too? It only says where it was bottled. Hang on. We're gonna do some sleuthing. Okay. Yes, and while we're doing this, please do hit the like. Apparently I've looked them up before. It was bottled by Kentucky Whiskey Bottling in Harrodsburg, Kentucky. Which Okay, it's just a little warehouse. I don't know. There's just no information on where it was actually distilled. But it's Kentucky. It's 2 Kentucky products. It reminds me of something, though, and I cannot figure out what it is. It... I wish they had a... Oh, wait. Do they have a website? No, they don't. They just have a dummy website. Okay. Never mind. Something's off. Something's off. The comparison that I wanted to make. It's got a good... Okay. Before I get there, though. It's got a pretty good palate up front. The finish is very astringent. It goes so, like, wet hay. I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt, and I really am hoping that it just needs to open up. But I wanted to see, in somewhat of the same category, Benchmark Foolproof, how it compares to the cask strength Rambler. Now, of course, Foolproof is not age stated. It's assumed that it's about 4 years old or so. We think that it's still a rye bourbon, even though at some point the rumor is that it was switched over to being a wheater with some reject barrels from what was supposed to be Weller. Again, this is all kind of conjecture. We don't know for sure. All that being said, though, I just had this thought of, like, what if this isn't good? And you could buy a similar product for half the price. Doesn't Kentucky Whiskey Bottling do mostly Heaven Hill products? Do they? I can't find any information. Like, here's... When you go to what is supposed to be their website, I mean, I can pull up, like, images from the company that did their branding, but nothing of their actual website, because it says that their website expired. So I don't know. Also, they're kind of far away from Heaven Hill. I would say they'd be more likely to do bottling for Wilderness Trail based on their, what am I trying to say? Proximity. So for less than half the price, let's see if Benchmark Foolproof is a similar or, hey, Emily Chambers, what's going on? A similar or better product than the Kentucky Rambler from Total Wine. Okay, there's the Rambler. It's just missing something. The Benchmark smells like Cracker Jacks. It straight up smells like going to a baseball game and cracking open a bag or box or whatever of Cracker Jacks. There is no comparison. There is no comparison. Even on and I'm not saying that the Rambler isn't, but it has been a few minutes and it's gotten to sit in the glass for a few minutes too. But even just on a fresh crack for the Benchmark Foolproof, it blows. Absolutely blows the Rambler out of the water. I keep like jumping on and off and on and off the train of Benchmark Foolproof, like not being able to tell if it's worth. I mean, I know that it's a $25 bourbon at this price point. It should be somewhat average. It shouldn't be like a go-to. But it kind of just keeps surprising me every time that I go back to it. Is it noticeable that it's younger or a young product? Absolutely, for sure. 100%. But I think as far as I don't understand how many people have jumped on the Benchmark bandwagon. It's for me like a palate dependent thing. Like if my palate really feels like it one day, I'm fine with it. Like maybe this is just a really good batch. And I think it's a pretty daggum good batch. I've had some that are atrocious. But I think this one is doing it for me. I'm not going to lie. Or maybe the Rambler just is that average. I don't know. I don't like the regular benchmark, like number 8. I know I've said this on the podcast before. I don't know if I've said this on stream at any point. I probably have, but it's worth repeating that benchmark number 8 is the only bourbon to, off the rip, give me an immediate headache. Just without warning. Daggum. Hashtag daggum. No warning, no preparation, no just anything. I just get a headache like almost as soon as I start drinking the 80 proof old number 8 benchmark. I think there are some other pretty good products in that lineup too. I'll be very honest with you. I don't even think that the full proof is the best product in the lineup. Yo. I gotta show you all this. This is... Hang on. Swan just sent me this picture. Look, I have never seen a 375 of Sazerac Rye. That is one of the cutest things I have ever seen in my entire life. Holy moly. I love this. Oh my gosh. I love this so much. Anyway, I had to show that to you real quick. It's, honestly too, baby Saz. It's not even that the Rambler is so terrible that it's just really elevating the benchmark. Because the benchmark isn't without its flaws, for sure. Oh my goodness. All right. I'll talk about something in a second too. But I think that the Rambler just doesn't quite have what it takes, man. So, I'm going to talk very quietly here for a second. Not very quietly. I'm going to tell you all this. This is no secret. But I hope that you all show up tomorrow night to Matt Madness. Because Whiskey Mutant, my co-host, Eric, is competing. He's looking to avenge a boy. Since I went down in a haze of folly when I competed a couple weeks ago. It was something else, I tell you. But it's hard to compete against the Grease when he's on his savant mode. All that being said, though, I've been in contact. Oh, I can't even say that. I hope you guys show up for it. It's going to be very special. We got to cheer on Tim Bipp any way we can. For sure. I'll be in the chat as much as I can. Hey, what's up, Pat? Hope you and Heather are doing well, man. It's good to see you in the chat. Very good to see you. What you drinking? What have you been up to? We need to catch up. Hello, Governor. Are you in London right now? Weren't you just in London, too? You've been traveling like crazy. It's hard to keep up with what you're doing. You're stuck in England? How are you stuck in England? What do you mean? What does that entail, being stuck in England? Did your flight get canceled? You're in a sand pit. Sorry. That's what I'm anticipating. You're in quicksand. That's how you're stuck. Yeah. Oh, for work. Oh, well. Ooh, Scotland in a couple days. That sounds fun. I mean, not to say that England doesn't sound fun too, but I'm just saying. What happened? What did I just do? What did I just do? I just closed like... just closed like every tab I had open. How did I do that? That was wild. I also hope it's a low stress trip. Get to enjoy yourself. Have a pint or two. You know. Oh, shillelagh. I don't even, know what I'm doing anymore. Anyway, I am going to get out of here because that is all I have for you tonight. Quicker night. And I'm tired. But I love y'all. I will see you next week. Yeah. Enjoy your week. Be good. Love each other. Toodles.